Enjoy. Enjoy. Ah! Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my god, what the fuck was that?
You gotta fucking bring it from your balls to your
Roll
throat.
the intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bitcade. Welcome. It is episode 43. 43 episodes. Spread eagle across 4 years of
Fuck
content.
yeah, spread it.
And we're here talking about post E3 2021. Obviously, we're not going to talk about all of the stuff that we talked about last time, mainly because, one, PlayStation was not there at this E3, and EA has not gone and will not go until July 22nd, 2021, into which we will come back to this topic. But once EA does their play live on July 22nd, then we'll come back and then we'll record the predictions if we got that correct. But until then, EA is also being removed from the post E3 episode. So in this episode, we are going to be talking about Xbox and Bethesda, Nintendo, and Ubisoft. Because those are the only three that actually did show up to E3. Other than, obviously, the other companies like Square Enix and a couple other companies, but we didn't do predictions for them. So we're going to only reference the ones that we actually did predictions for. I'm joined by, like always,
Sticky.
And joining us, because he joined us in the last episode, Tyler is here. Pluvio himself is also here. How you doing?
Hey, what's good? How you doing?
And so we're going to go through, and just like how we always, how we have mentioned before, and in past E3s, we like to do a little scoring system. If you guessed a game correctly, you got 1 point, or you get a half a point. And then if you got the date right, you get another half a point, which would then give you 1 total point. Seem pretty easy. That's how predictions worked. Ash and I are the ones that I kept score for. Unfortunately, I did not go through all of what Tyler said, so he is here for emotional support, and also I want to know his opinion on things. So that's why he's here. Are you guys ready to start talking about the first topic?
Yeah.
Yes, Jim.
Which is Xbox and Bethesda. Okay. That was probably the best that they probably could have done. Let's be honest. That was...
With the amount of time they had, yeah.
Yeah. With COVID, with everything, that seemed about as good as we were going to probably get from really anybody at this whole entire conference of E3. And, yeah. So, Ashton, let's go through your prediction. Or do you want to do predictions first and see our scoring, or should we do what we liked about it first and then do our scores?
We could do scores last.
Scores last? Okay. So how about you tell me one of the things that stood out to you that Xbox and Bethesda talked about this E3 2021?
I mean, I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff I didn't see there that I wanted to see there, but in terms of like what I did see there, I think Bethesda, the thing I was interested most in, wasn't Starfield, it was
Redfall.
what was that other one? Redfall, yeah, that
from
new IP
Arcane Studio.
Yeah, that actually looked pretty cool.
That's the vampires now.
The vampire
it's like
hunting.
Yeah, a Left 4 Dead vampire game, essentially, is what it looked like to me. So.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it looked really cool. It was more of a movies. It was cinematic. We didn't really see gameplay or in-game footage. In-engine footage, I should say. So I mean, it looked like it would just be like a really fun co-op experience. The characters were pretty tight. I think the coolest one was the black chick. She just had the most substance, to be honest.
With the
Um,
elevator.
yeah,
Yeah, where she had
yeah,
like the magic powers and stuff like that. Seems like we're
yeah,
getting four different character types as well. You know,
yeah,
her being the conjuring of magic, and another one that kind of looked like more of a scout, things like that.
yeah.
So yeah,
It just looked interesting. I really liked the art style. Looked very clean.
hmm
Um, it just wasn't something I was expecting at all.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. I
so
would say also the surprise for the show. I have this also on my list of things that I really liked about the Xbox and Bethesda conference was Redfall. It's probably I would say probably one of my most anticipated games because I was like, um, it shocked me and I was very much pleasantly surprised with really everything about it. Um, but yeah, I think what we got right now so far is that it's summer of 2022, so we don't got a release date,
yeah,
but somewhere
not
around
too long
this
to go though.
time, yeah, a whole year, and then uh, we're gonna get Redfall.
Do you think it's gonna get pushed, like delayed?
Um, I'm not sure. Because like, I don't know. It could go either way, but I think where we're seeing, I think all of the studios that we saw present are pretty on top of things, and I mean, we have so like I don't know if you want to segue into your next thing here, or we go into what Tyler has to say. But there's a couple games that were announced here today or not today, but like at E3 that I'm very like stuck on why we didn't get specific dates with, and some that we did get specific dates for, which is just really weird to me.
Yeah,
But we'll go into
yeah.
that a little bit later after we talk about the highlights, I think. Um, so yeah, we talked about Redfall. Tyler, a game that you had talked about that you were kind of looking at was Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Hell yeah.
What was standing out to you for that one?
That was honestly that was giving me a lot of like Metro. Is it Metro? Metro, right?
Metro, yeah,
Metro game?
that's the Russian one, yeah.
Give me a lot of Metro vibes. I think it's come before Metro because it's not the first Stalker game, obviously. Um, and it just like from seeing what Stalker was, because like I looked it up like a long time ago. Just seeing what this is looking like, really clean, kind of shorter than Darkness, what you're gonna be doing, and again like Metro vibes in terms of like fighting these unknown beasts again. It's like, all right, this is looking kind of fire. So I just thought like I have to put that on the list as something I'll be intrigued to look at and want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was they talked about it a lot. Like if we really looked
Yeah,
at
Yeah.
they
like
showed a lot of like story elements and whatnot. Like I didn't know who the dude like on the roof. Like he don't seem like a good guy like at all. He was over here talking about we gotta. He's like, I won't let anybody harm my city or some shit. So he probably not against letting anybody leave. Like he no.
yeah, it's I don't know, it's very interesting to see that Stalker 2 is coming out of there. And for Xbox, they went for that. I'm trying to look up Stalker. There we go. But I feel like it's weird that I typed that. Oh, there we go. So there have been a couple games. There's been 3 other games. We had Stalker Call of Pripyat. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Clear Sky and Shadow of Chernobyl. And so that's kind of where we're sitting at with the Stalker franchise. So this is the next mainline one. Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely gave me, like how you were saying, the Metro vibes. So I'm curious. It's interesting. It's all in Russian, so I guess that's gonna be something
Yeah,
to
I'll
have
have
to.
to have subtitles on.
Yeah. Well, I would assume so, unless you're one to play as an American
Unless they
in the
plan
world.
unless they plan on dubbing it in certain parts.
Yeah, they
Where
could.
only like one of those, where they have it where your character actually speaks English and shit, and then the other, Russians and shit speak Russian. So.
hmm
Well, I mean, that's like me coming like complaining like a lot of like anime games. It's nothing new. Like they're like if as long
Yeah,
as
it
it's
wouldn't bug me.
subtitled, it
Yeah.
should be fine. I don't mind
It
it. I
doesn't
always have
bug me as
subtitles
much
on
in
games.
games as it does like TV and stuff.
TV, I mean that like how are you supposed to understand that? But games they obviously account for that. And that's why subtitles are a thing. So as long and I'm pretty sure there were subtitles in the trailer, so I don't really mind that. I guess keeping it Russian just adds to or keeps it rooted to where it was.
Yep. I'm
Another game.
excited for it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Nope.
It kind of was very much for me a we'll see where it goes kind of thing. I'm just curious where it goes. But yeah, it was very interesting that they were talking a lot about it. The next one here that I have on my list is 12 minutes. Yeah, it's been this like I don't know like I guess it is technically an indie game. And they showed a little bit about it coming out of Luis Antonio or Antonio. Uh, so it's August 19th, 2021 release for that. And the interesting thing is they actually have like mainline actors like James McAvoy's in it, Daisy Ridley's in it, William Dafoe's in it. It's gonna be like originally it did not have that, so now they have like actual like actors that are coming in. Not saying that VO work is not acting. It's just these people are in X-Men and Star Wars and in like this motherfucker was the Green Goblin. So it's like there's so many like like the resume list for all three of these I would say really really good actors. They're coming in to do this game here. So very excited to see where the concept of this time-based game that sits in one room and this guy is in this 12-minute loop of constant what's going to happen next, and you don't know because like if you alter one thing, what domino effect does it have for the others? So it's very interesting to me. It's probably like a 4 to 5 hour game if you wanted to complete everything and see everything. Maybe even less. Maybe it's like a 3-hour game. Just play it through.
This a 12-minute game.
Nice. Moving on to the next one. Speaking of, well, I don't know, 12s. We're hoping that we get it in this year before December. Halo got announced with a holiday 2021 release. It does not have an actual release date. So it could either come out in November or in December. Ashton,
I do want to say something in an interview that you can watch online.
Okay,
Phil Spencer,
go ahead.
about the release date. The reason that they hadn't given one is because it comes down to a couple different weeks on like things that they have to iron out. So it is for sure coming out this year. A lot of people are jumping on the hype train thinking that it's going to be somehow delayed until next year. Not the case. They're talking within a couple weeks, and they didn't want to like say a release date and then like, okay, well, we need another week or two, and then have to delay it again. They don't want to have to delay it again. So
yeah,
they're gonna know more after the flights, is what they said. So that's what Phil Spencer said.
Okay.
So.
And I trust that it is coming out this year. It just is very interesting that that we got an 11/11/22 release date. Like we got a release date for the next game that we're going to talk about is Starfield. But before we move on to that, we got a release date for that, but we didn't get a release date for Halo. And it's just very interesting that game got a release date and not Halo. But I'm assuming it came down to splitting hairs of days of where to come out at. So yeah. Anything exciting though? This was your game, Ashton.
This is the multiplayer reveal. So I was kind of worried about how Halo Infinite was gonna be looking. I will say that the trailer kind of did put me a little bit more at ease. They're bringing equipment back. They're adding some new weapons. They're adding the minimum one new vehicle and bringing back a couple old ones. I think we're going in the right space. I was a little bummed out that it's big team battle is only still going to be like 16v16. I was kind of hoping for like a, something closer to 20v20 or a 30.
Do
I
you
don't know.
think that is because of Xbox trying to be inclusive with the original with the Xbox One?
I mean, yes and no, because I mean, here's the thing you have to take into account too is also map design. Everything has to be scaled for how many people are going to be in it, right? So, I'm sure it has something to do with Xbox, and so maybe there's going to be like updates in the future, but I don't think that they're ever going to cut last gen off from this game.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, because I mean, if you look at Battlefield, yeah, they're only going to be able to go in the smaller lobbies, where if you're on next gen PC, you get to take place in like the big lobbies. So, I'm sure there is. Part of that is because they didn't want to drop last gen, which I kind of understand because of the you know shortage right now. They can't really just expect people, even if everybody had money, for them to be able to fulfill every order with the chip shortage. So,
Yeah.
it's a rough time.
I mean, as somebody that is more looking more towards the campaign, it to me this was definitely like multiplayer to me. It looks nice. I've heard some really good things about that. A lot of people are excited for how they're going to do the battle pass. How they've kind of answered questions to that of where they're like, no, we want everyone to be able to like obtain things and it doesn't go away kind of stuff. To me, I think Microsoft is definitely going more towards this consumer friendly thing, and they've always been doing that. But it's interesting to see that. Yeah, interesting to see that how they're kind of incorporating that into a flagship like pillar into their franchise, into their brand. Xbox Halo is Xbox, and so like to see that kind of getting that treatment is going to be pretty interesting.
Fun fact: it's the same way that the MCC Battle Pass works. So
yeah, so they're going to bring that style over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for how I've seen it, I was kind of saying this before we were recording. To me, Halo Infinite is just you know what? Kind of give it to me here. I'm kind of done with getting updates here and there. Multiplayer, that's fine. That's a new thing. That's fine. But like now, if Microsoft is smart, which they probably are going to do exactly this, they're going to back off of it. We're going to get our commercial probably in like September or October, and that's going to be our teaser, and then it's probably going to come out in November, but we'll see. Tyler, you're also a Halo fan. Anything you want to say about Halo Infinite now that we've...
I mean, I kind of stand where you stand, but it's like, damn, son, when that shit going to come out? It's about that time. It didn't take long enough, as much as you delayed it, do deliver on what you said we're going to get. I will not go into the intricacies of whatever, like how I feel about the game. I just, hope it's good. Hope the wait was worth it, and that. I think the one thing I will like talk about is like that battle pass system shit. Like, how good is that gonna be? Because like I think other told you or somebody else, like the way they corner the market on that, you realize like how like me and you play Call of Duty a lot. How with the Call of Duty battle pass, if you complete it, you get your money back. Is Halo going to do something like that on top of completing it where you can? Because to be honest, is your battle pass with games that come out nowadays, I do not think any game that's had a battle pass, their battle pass price when you have to pay for everyone equates to how much your game is actually worth. You want to spend more for a battle pass than you do the fucking game, and it's like at the end of the day, is that worth it? Absolutely not. Destiny does it. It's like holy shit. Destiny definitely is. I mean, look, I paid for it. I should know. Destiny is definitely not worth that battle pass price for me to just like not get my shit back. So if they do that, I honestly feel like they've cornered the market on how to do battle passes, and people will then follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they do battle passes. Ashton, you might be able to explain it a little bit more of how the MCC does it. But like but as Tyler was mentioning, with Call of Duty, it's I do like that personally, that there's something to strive for. There's something to like play the game for. I've not paid for any Black Ops Cold War battle pass because I bought mine in not Infinite Warfare. Well, I bought mine in Modern Warfare. So it has traveled with me. Like, I've earned COD points that has allowed me to keep buying and to have me come back to play the game. So is Halo? Do I have to buy a battle pass? And then if so, how does that all work? How does MCC how does the Master Chief Collection do a battle pass?
I mean, I'd have to go back and look at it. I mean, they have it to where you can just kind of you get these points basically. And I haven't actually spent money on the MCC Battle Pass at all, but I can get stuff off the Battle Pass. So I'm really confused on how that's gonna work.
Boy, aren't
'Cause
their battle passes free? The
yeah,
first one I remember they put out.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
theirs are because I had like 120 some odd rec points. You just go in, you go into any battle pass you want, and you're able to just fucking.
yeah.
You have
So
to get all the ones before the one thing that you want to unlock, but I mean, you have to. I haven't had to pay for anything. I don't know what they plan on doing right now because they're free to play model for Infinite. So I'm not entirely sure what their plan is with that. So with like the other thing too that's weird about how Halo Infinite's gonna work is like the they have I don't know if you guys saw it in the screenshots there, but they have stuff that will have different indicators on like what the rarity of it is, but it's like some of them are free. Like they have like the legendary stuff will be in like the free path of the battle pass. And it's like, okay, so what exact value is that going to actually have? Is that just to say like, hey, yeah, like I got this cool thing because they said it's hard to get, even though it was free. I just have to play the fucking game. Like,
mm,
I'm curious because they did say some stuff about like unlocking cosmetics. They'll have like specific challenges attached to them. You can only get them for doing certain things, which I really fucking like. Um, that's my favorite way to get something, is to prove that I was able to do this one thing or these, you know, his group of things to get the full set. Um, but I am curious to see like what stuff is gonna be like good looking that's actually hard to get in the game, not just for playing the game, but for fucking doing something really good in the game. Like how good is the armor gonna be for like doing something really skilled, or really hard to do? That's the real question.
probably gonna be ass because Halo's never good at armors like that.
They were for Halo 3.
Yeah, but that's under Bungie. It's not under Bungie anymore.
Well, sure, but I mean, Joseph Staten's the new creative director of Halo, so
And when did
um,
he become the creative director of Halo?
the beginning of this year when they started their overhaul.
What does Bonnie do?
I don't fucking know what she does anymore.
Oh,
I know she's like head of the fucking
head of 343.
studio.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's creative director of the game.
got it.
So
So I went out and looked at Halo Infinite on the Xbox store here on Microsoft's website, and it does not have a price at all right now. I think they're just kind of holding back on pre-orders until they announce the date. It's also rated T for teen. Didn't know that, but I mean that makes sense.
I figured they didn't have any blood, no Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I think
I missed that.
the lenience of teen. Well, I mean Halo 5 was also rated T for teen, and it included that. I just think it's different because
Oh, really?
didn't I'm pretty sure the Covenant bled.
Covenant Bleed. Is
Yeah, but it
blue.
was like
That's the only
blue and
exception.
purple and
Well,
That's
yeah,
like
that's their
same thing with,
blood.
like
Yeah,
but
but
that's like
that's
Australia, for example. They ban blood in games and gore, but you can have like blue, green. All their blood has to be colored
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Australia.
in the
That's always
last,
how
but in Halo 2 and Halo 3 and 4, the Covenant always bleed blue. You bleed
Yeah.
red.
Yeah, but you don't bleed red in this. Like you don't. There'll be like a mist when you die or something, but it's not like you can't paint the walls with your fucking enemy anymore. Like
So
that, which I miss.
yeah, so I mean it's I don't know. Halo Infinite is a interesting egg to crack at this point. I don't know what they're gonna plan on doing. I still am kind of in this. I'm in this. I'm starting to get into this attitude of the last gen consoles are starting to hurt the current gen games, and obviously Halo Infinite would have come out on Xbox One. and it would have come out on Xbox Series because it would have been a launch game. So I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna deny that like this game was gonna come out for both regardless, but to me, I I was kind of thinking about this when you were saying this a little while ago, but this is the Halo. That's gonna buffer, and the next Halo, hope to God this is good, so we'll get another one. Will be exclusive to the next gen of Xbox Series S and X.
Here's the thing though, is that they plan on this game being the only Halo game for the next 10 years.
Terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible.
Interesting.
Because they're going to be a live service type of game.
So what the hell is the story gonna do? We're not gonna get an introduction to a story.
I imagine that we'll get updates with the story every couple of years that you have to buy.
Huh. Huh.
You're gonna, and this is my issue with people who do live services, and things of that nature. And I'm gonna bring up esports. What the fuck are you gonna do for esports? You cannot run that game over 10 years of that. It's not that popular. It's just not CS:GO here.
Well, it depends on how they do it.
No, I highly doubt 343 will ever be able to pull a CS:GO in terms of keeping your esports alive for 10 years on the same shit. No.
They did esports for fucking Halo 5 for like 5 years, and that game was not fucking popular.
It died after 2. They tried events, and of course the pros are going to go to them because you're on contract. It was dead after 2.
Yeah, but the whole game was dead after 2, though, because of how...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm bringing. If you're going to make this last... If you want to try to make this last for 10 years, how the fuck you do that when you try to do that with Halo 5 and it didn't last?
Well, Halo 5 had a very, very, very bad launch. And it lost popularity very quickly. By the time it was good, nobody was playing it anymore. Where the only way you can do something like that is if you come out the gate hot and you keep the updates coming. Because that's another thing that Halo 5 failed on, was content updates. Meaningful content updates. Not bullshit updates.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they redid the engine. They were supposed to have the engine redone for Halo 5. They promised all the people working at 343 they're going to have the engine completely redone for Halo 5, and they didn't. So the purpose of why they were remaking it to begin with, the main reason, is so that way they could push out content very fast, because that was one of the limitations that they had with the last engine. So that's why they scrapped it and gutted it and then fucking rebuilt it. So that way they could push content out faster. So it can be done. They just need to come out the gate hot. 10 years is kind of a stretch, but I think they can make the 5-year mark and still be somewhat relevant at the 5-year mark.
So.
It is definitely an uphill battle. I mean, there are very few games that have hit that 10-year mark. League of Legends and as you mentioned, CS:GO are definitely the what?
I said Smite's not been going on for 10 years, or Smite's been going on pretty long.
Yeah, about 5+ years on them. But it like it does open up that interesting question of what do you give me? Because you look at all that other stuff, CS:GO has the popularity because it's just one of the original Steam games, because it was a part of Counter-Strike. And so then it's just gotten the updates, and then Counter-Strike Global Offensive was the latest in that, and it runs pretty well, and just PC gamers are just into it. League of Legends has had 10 years plus because they update that thing constantly, reworking rules, reworking the map, adding champions. There's over 100+ champions on that thing.
They have the perfect format for doing shit like that. That's why I'm more so compare it to CS:GO, because CS:GO is an FPS, so you can't go crazy with updates. But on a MOBA, you can go fucking wild.
Yeah, but it does add that question though. What content are you going to give me? If this game is coming out at $70, what content are you going to give me that, one, tells me that it's $70 worth, and two, gives me a reason to keep coming back and playing the game? Because with, like I was mentioning with Call of Duty and the Battle Pass, and as well as like Fortnite does the same thing. They have their Battle Pass and they do it really well. A lot of people love it. And so it's like, and they do the same thing. You buy it, you earn it, and as long as you keep playing, you unlock it so that you can continue to play the next game. I like unlocking things. It's part of the reason why Mario Kart 8 pissed me off, because it's like, what am I doing? I'm unlocking bits for my car. Like all the characters are unlocked. What is this? So like, I like that sense of progression. It gives me a reason to come back and play it. Otherwise, if I'm not being told what I'm unlocking, then like for example Mario Kart 8, I'm sure there's stuff in there that I have not unlocked, but I don't know. Like I just assume that I've got it all because eventually it just goes, hey, you unlocked this thing, and I'm like, all right, that's cool, I guess. So like, what is the reason? Like Smash Brothers does a really good job with it because you're continuing a story, you're unlocking new content, you're getting new characters, and by the end of the game you have about like what 50 plus characters in there plus the DLC that are coming out with it. So it's probably not 50, but or maybe it is. Like that screen looks full of shit, so
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
pretty full. Well, I mean, the thing is that they did say about anything in the game, anything that you can put on your Spartan in the game, it will tell you how to get it. It'll tell you where it came from.
Okay.
So they will tell you how to get it. Like, hey, this is only available in the Battle Pass. Hey, this is only available if you do this certain like feat, like you perform this certain feat, because apparently they're gonna have cosmetics for that too. Probably not that many, but you know.
So I mean, I don't want to go into full Halo talk here, and we'll change subject here, but I'll ask this one last question. What is it from Halo Infinite that we've seen so far that has been the step in the right direction? And I'll even go with the secondary question on that. What is it that it's going to take for you to keep playing this if they're projecting this for 10 years?
So in terms of what I think was good about the game that was different from previous ones, I think one of the really cool things that they did was bring back the equipment again, like meaningful equipment, and the fact that you're not using it as soon as you grab it, like you could use it whenever you want, is kind of cool. And as for like what's going to keep me playing it, it's going to be those meaningful content updates for multiplayer, and for Forge, because really what's going to carry this game for 10 years is going to be the community. That's what carries the Halo games for so long every single time, is the Halo like Forge community and making those custom games for players. So much so that they've put games that people made in Forge, game modes and maps, and they'll put them in the playlist. So they support the community to an extent. They were good at it, really good at it once upon a time. They kind of failed with Halo 5. But I'm really hoping they, turn it around here with Infinite.
I mean, if you're gonna ask me, I guess I can like answer both. Like, if you're gonna ask me, what do I think this like Halo Infinite has done to take Halo into the right direction? In my personal opinion, fucking nothing. I'm gonna have to play it first because nothing I'm seeing is impressing me. I'm gonna be honest with you, absolutely nothing. To get me to play for 10 plus years, your updates have to be fucking top notch. I'm talking about better than any other fucking game I have played. Because I take it like you know how they said, hey, we want to run Warzone for 10 years. That's very much possible because every Call of Duty updates Warzone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've done it with Cold War. So that makes it as longevity because you get guns in that bitch. In a 10-year span, you know how many guns are going to be in that fucking game?
Yeah.
Shit's going to be fucking crazy. That's 10 years worth. Halo's not doing that. So in terms of impressing me, nothing.
We don't know that yet.
They're not coming out with another game, so we do know that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're not going to come out with like other weapons and shit like that if they have a 10-year plan.
So my thing, as a Destiny player though, how do you see that? The what?
As a Destiny player, how do I see what the 10-year thing happen?
The 10-year plan, yeah, with Halo.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen.
It's not, because if we're going off of Destiny, like honestly, their fucking seasons have been lackluster. They're there, but they're lackluster. And what hurts Destiny even more is you're locking. All right, so Destiny hasn't had any DLC since last year, right? And I think we're on year 4, which honestly, this is about the time, if we go off Destiny 1, is where Destiny 3 would come into play. I don't think a Destiny 3 is coming to play.
No. I think they said they weren't going to do it.
Yeah, so with that being said, what hurts Destiny is you're locking your seasonal content. So basically, take this. Since you play it, take Call of Duty, right?
Okay.
And take the new Warzone map, or say like a new event, a new game mode. lock that behind a paid season pass, and that's what Destiny does. They introduce new activities, but lock it. You have to pay for it. That's not how you get your game going. And on top of that, the events are rehashes of shit I could do already. For example, it's a gambit game mode. Basically, you have to kill a bunch of enemies. You collect these little drops. You deposit them into the bank. You go do something else. The past 3 events or activities I watched Destiny do have been just that. The ending being something else, but the beginning always the same. Why is this like that? Destiny is slowly dying, but I think this year, by the end of the year, they are to announce another DLC. And that shit better fucking hit, or they're not making it. And that's why I say for Halo, after a while, you get kind of dry. And it's like, how far can you push this? With Call of Duty, they're having multiple hands touch it. So it's keeping it fresh, keeping it recycled. Halo and Destiny are not having multiple hands. They're just themselves. And after a while, you're going to get burnt out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's for me. I don't see this game fully lasting 10 years.
It's a stretch for any game
with
honestly.
multiplayer. Like in my eyes, because I was actually curious to know if you were going to go a different direction with the Destiny thing, because I was wondering if with the raids and the sort of story elements to progress that universe actually add to that. But if they're not adding even within the 5 years of that game, or 6-7 years that it's been out, the in that time frame, enough content to keep you like full, and they're not putting enough on the plate, then what can Halo, another space shooter, do? It's a different concept because obviously, Destiny is an always online situation. But with Halo, it has to answer that question of like as a single player and as a multiplayer game. To me, if you're charging $70, that price tag needs to look nice. And
what if they're only saying, hey, it's only gonna be $20-$30?
That's fucking crazy. A $20-$30 first party shooter.
Comes out.
That's insane. That'd be insane. I would say $40 to $50.
I don't see the campaign being the campaign of that game being good enough to be $70. Based off of
I would prefer it to be what he's saying, $20. Because as we talked about, if your 10-year plan includes adding campaign DLC, I'm not gonna pay $60 every time for you to give me a bit of something. So like you're gonna have to either cut the price of the first shit coming out, meaning like the actual base game, or them DLCs better cost me like some $15 or some shit.
So what if the game is $40, comes out at $40 to $50, and you're getting
$40 and then $20 for every
for every major DLC. So they'd be coming out with like. So obviously,
we're talking about. Go ahead. Sorry.
Obviously, multiplayer would be free because they've already stated that. But maybe you get some extra bits. All right, you bought this extra little thing of campaign. Here's a skin. Here's like a couple skins, some guns, that type of shit. Because that's how I look at. If you purchase this game, you're gonna get extra goodies. Like it just needs to come with extra goodies. Otherwise, there's no fucking reason to go buy the game.
Yeah, and while what you're saying is good, I also have only thing that keeps like rearing its ugly head is Battle Pass. You have to allow me to get my money back. If you're gonna charge me $20 or whatever the fuck for another installment of a campaign,
I'm thinking the way that it's gonna be is instead of how it's timed, like once you get through certain tiers of the battle passes, like you'll start getting chunks back.
What do I need it for? What am I buying?
What do you mean?
Well, if the battle pass is free, and I'm buying it one time, what the hell am I earning? Just stuff?
I'm saying pay for the. Well, the same thing you would in any other fucking game. You just don't have to do it within a certain time frame.
No, but what I'm saying is like in Call of Duty, I have roughly about 40 days to finish my battle pass, right? I pay $20, I earn it, I can just get it. Then I can keep getting that $20 over and over again. Sure, I miss out on some stuff if I don't complete it, but I can earn my 1,000 COD points back to then put it right back into the game and continue on as forth. But if Halo is a one-time buy, and what am I fucking earning? Like rec packs? I didn't give a shit about them in Halo 5. Why the hell do I need them in this one?
They're not doing rec packs.
Yeah,
So it's just this battle pass.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is in it? Just stuff?
No, so every season they come out with a new battle pass, which is it's.
But they're not
quarterly,
doing that now.
or roughly 3 months.
We're not doing what now?
They are doing that. Every season is gonna have a battle pass.
Yeah, that's happening.
Every season's 3 months.
But I thought the whole concept of this was that there was no, like, you could always earn it.
Yeah, you can always earn it. All right. I'm gonna explain it simply. Every season, the game will have seasons. Every season will be a battle pass. But say like I only played like 5 days of this season. I didn't complete my battle pass. You can still complete that battle pass, but there still will be another existing battle pass on top of that.
Oh, weird. That's so
go look at MCC.
weird.
Go look at MCC.
Okay.
What I'm thinking is that it would be cool if they did it this way. I don't know if they will, because I mean that's a one-time buy. They make more money if they didn't do it this way, but it would be like, you buy the battle pass, and once you get certain fucking tiers, like you start getting your chunks, once you hit certain basically time markers, basically at this point, you'll be getting your chunks of your battle pass money back, so you can go and buy the next one.
I wonder if they'll allow you
they
to
plan
buy
that.
multiple battle passes at a time.
That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, where it's like now you're like, if you want the other one, you can buy 2 now, or you can buy 3 at a time if you're 3 seasons behind. That'd be weird, but I guess it's a way. Yeah. All right, well, I think that was a good enough Halo talk there. Yeah, at a different topic. Or for a different episode, we can go full fledged, and hopefully, by the time, obviously, we're going to continue talking about Halo as the year goes on. It's the talk for Xbox right now, and what the hell is going to happen with it. So more news, obviously, we're waiting for it to come. Speaking of something that we cannot wait for, at least I can't, is Starfield. It's Bethesda's mainline studio making it, and I have stated this before. I am a sci-fi video game. I love the sci-fi video game stuff. I loved Outer Worlds, which was Obsidian's version of this sort of style. But to see that Bethesda is going to have their Fallout and Skyrim sort of flavor to a space genre, it seems like we're having a lot of space games. Is that just me? There are a lot of space games coming.
Is it something going on with like fucking No Man's Sky or some shit too? Like, I don't think
they're always pushing out updates, dude. They're on top of it.
Well, this one is big though. It's not like it's just a small. Like this one, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with it, but it's supposedly pretty fucking big. Point is, yes, there's a good amount of space stuff. You had the Mass Effect stuff drop this year. I think rumored of another Mass Effect game. Of course, not showing at E3 because they're not ready for it. Yeah. But it's a good amount of space stuff happening. It is what it is.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm all, we had the years of fantasy, and now we're going back into space. So
we have a lot of fantasy.
Yeah, we had a pretty good chunk of fantasy. I'm not saying just recent years. I'm saying like a couple of years back, we had a big chunk of fantasy games coming out. Then we had a big chunk of zombie games coming out.
3?
No, I mean there was just that sort of flavor kind of thrown around there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Starfield, all we got was a little teaser trailer, and then we got a date, so that was cool that we're getting it next year. But, I mean, this has a lot riding on it. I mean, with the very mixed reviews of Fallout 4, the very mixed reviews of Fallout 76, and the only thing that really is like that, that I think both Fallout 76 and ESO have definitely found their marks now, and ESO obviously way years later, or way before that they found their mark. It was definitely an interesting one when it was launching though. So I'm curious to try and see where they go with it, because the reason why I loved Outer Worlds was the character development of all of the people that you meet and the reasoning on them joining your crew. If I'm some lone, motherfucker just wandering space for no fucking reason, that to me doesn't really seem fun. And another thing that doesn't seem fun is if I'm having to go to planets to discover it. I have that game. It's called No Man's Sky. I don't need Starfield to do that same exact shit.
Starfield is probably gonna do it.
I mean, that's
What and that's what it kind of alluded to. But I want to go to places. I want like it to be exactly how, not exactly, but to the level of a major AAA game of that the Outer Worlds couldn't do. But
are you down, cut you off?
yeah, I'm good.
What would sell Starfield for me even more is if on top of, I mentioned we talked about it. I'm gonna build on top of that. Remember I talked about in Bethesda there'll probably be an emphasis on combat, which No Man's Sky kind of didn't give you. No Man's Sky up to a point was you got to run away, and then you get a gun. It's like, all right, now I can fight, but it still was no emphasis on combat. Combat is very small. So I will I want some space rifles. Give me that shit. But also, what would sell No Man's Sky for me? What would sell Starfield for me would be on top of space discovery and like discovering these new planets. Bitch, put Earth in there. Let me go to like planets that are already established.
So you want a real planetary exploration?
Because imagine
not some guy that landed on it, 8 years ago and named it Glorp 87, and you're that's cool.
I want to be able to travel out there and give me the No Man's Sky-esque in terms of it's gonna take you 10 minutes to get there. All right, I'm gonna go fucking chill for 10 minutes so I'll land there. But I also want to be able to return to Earth. Say you got a home or some shit, or you could trade on Earth. I want to have major big planets that I use for trading and or living on, but also have shit I can discover. And no, that is asking for a big ask, but I want it to be a thing.
Well, do you guys think it's gonna be a multiplayer, or you think it's gonna be solo?
I think
solo game. Do not make that game multiplayer.
Why?
I just don't see a game that is a front runner of this is their third, I don't want to go back to the pillar thing, but it is what it is. Because you got Elder Scrolls, you got Fallout, and then you got this. You can get a multiplayer game in there somewhere eventually, but Starfield Online or whatever. But I say for this one, you keep it single player to keep that RPG, that Western RPG feel, that Bethesda feel. Because to me, this is just me. I don't find ESO relatively attractive. I don't find Fallout 76 relatively attractive. I don't want to do that, and because at first, the theme doesn't really seem fun to me with Elder Scrolls. I just never have gotten into them, and then with Fallout, it's very very close, but it's also post-apocalyptic, and so I'm not really into that. I like the NPC fact of it. I don't mind that because that to me is telling. That's good storytelling. That is me going on an adventure. I like going on adventures in space. It's the final frontier, They say it in Star Trek for a reason. It's what can I discover? What quirky characters am I able to figure out? And I think Obsidian nailed that with Outer Worlds. You just find the bits of humor, the weird creatures, the robots, the what the fuck is that thing over there that's about to kill me? Those kind of things that I think with because Starfield, this is one of those things that I like seeing the creatures from Fallout because those are original ideas. You have these, but at the end, they're still mutants. They're still ghouls. They're still Fallout-y things, whereas the fantasy aspect of things is you got to hit those fantasy marks. They do add a little bit of different things like cat people and lizard people, but it's still fantasy. You got dragons, you got trolls, you got big giant spiders, things like that. This is think outside the box. What can you do with it? What is out there? You don't know. No one knows. So create something. What crazy thing? That's what I love about the spin-offs of Star Wars movies, or I like the in-depth that some Star Wars movies and shows will do. They'll just start showing creatures because that thing looks like a giant fish, but it's a person. So it's
it looks like a giant fish, but it's a person.
Yeah, Emerald Akbar is the fish person. He's Mon Calamari or whatever it is.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, big old fish. So it's like that to me is cool. I want to
Raptors.
see weird shit. But I want it to feel fun, and I want to build a crew. Like that to me, I think could get eliminated if you add multiplayer, because then you're like, oh well, I could just get my crew together, and I don't like how Bethesda does. Get your friends together and go play. It's like, you're not really good at that. So,
Well, they only
like,
did it the one time, though. I mean,
what do you mean?
and to be fair, the game wasn't even done. Like Fallout 76.
I mean,
That's
yes,
really
it
the
was
only like.
also they want you to play
Yeah,
with
but
friends, but
yeah, but yes,
Well, I mean,
it's actually a good MMO.
I'm not saying that. It's just, to me, it's not good playing with friends, I guess, because like when
Why?
when we were grouped up, you could have gone. We're just essentially grouped up. Like you could go off and fuck off and do your own thing. And I could do my own thing, and we could just be doing our own stuff. But like it to me didn't really. It's not necessary to be grouped up, even though they want you to be like, oh yeah, go ahead. It's like,
Well, there
but
is
you're giving me
activities that you can only specifically do with
with multiple
others.
people.
wait, are
Okay.
you
Yeah.
talking about ESO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all MMOs are like that when you team up with people. They're all like that's
Yeah.
not a
Look
Bethesda
at Guild
thing.
Wars
That's
2 is like that.
yeah, that's a standard
Fucking,
MMO thing. Final Fantasy 14, which I played, is just like that.
maybe you just don't like
Now,
MMOs.
But here's the thing:
yeah,
I don't want a fucking another MMO if you're gonna make this your third tier
it doesn't have
of
to be an
genre.
MMO. It just depends
It
on how you
can,
do it. It can easily be on some
like 4-player co-op.
yeah, 4-player co-op easy because like
I just
depending
don't
on
see that
there's
as.
got to be a story to it, you know. And I don't, and I'm getting tired of Bethesda actually giving me good games, but like games that I feel like will be perfect for multiplayer, and they're not giving me that. But like again, like I understand what you said. When they do multiplayer, it's kind of handled shittily, but then again, it's MMOs, right? So we don't know where Starfield is going. It could be heavily story based, and if it's heavily story based, all you got to do is add the instance of another person, and then boom, you got yourself a fucking game, a co-op game at that. But the minute you try to make it like No Man's Sky, it becomes, I think, what you don't like. In terms of like everyone has their own set of shit to do. We don't have to do things together. But space travel is a little different because with space travel, even in No Man's Sky, even though we had our own shit to do, we never really separated.
Yeah, I mean,
We
to
all
me, I
stuck.
just I don't want it. Like if they go multiplayer and they're like, yeah, you can have up to 4 players playing along with, I won't fucking like I just see that game not earning higher than a 7. Like it just needs to focus on the Bethesda formula, which is give me a good story. People love the Fallout series, people love the Elder Scrolls series, and there's a reason for it. It's the lore, it's the gameplay, and it's feeling like a badass. If you
Yeah,
can't
but
give
Skyrim would be so much better with other players.
that
Could
what?
be.
People made mods.
Skyrim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
100%. Because here's why.
But
though. Here's why.
it's a different game. It's
Look
an
at-
RPG. It's a single player RPG, Western single player RPG. And they're the kings of creating that idea. If you're just going to shove multiplayer down my throat, I'm not going to play it. Cuz that's not the formula. That's not what you. And if Todd Howard's coming out and saying Starfield is just a sci-fi version of Elder Scrolls, then it fucking better be. So I don't know. It just I if they come out with 2-player co-op, like it's a Fable situation where it's like, hey, come out and check out my shit, and then look at this stuff, and then let's go do this mission. All right, bye. You have no effect on my world at all. That I don't really care about. But if I'm like, yeah, get your 4 players together and let's go play. I don't know. I think there's too many of those games.
What do you mean by has no effect on the world? You talking about like the players?
you complete those missions for somebody else, but once you go back to your game, like you'll have stuff that you earn from their world, but your world will not be progressed. Like,
yeah, but you don't have to always make it like that. You know, you can. Far Cry 5 did that. It was kind of fucking dog shit.
Oh, so that's what you want? you want a single player game to do that?
Did you not just hear me say I was fucking dog shit?
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is like,
but you don't have to do that. Meaning you don't have to make it like that. That was a conscious decision. You can easily make it. Everyone's earning it at the same time, sort of thing. It's just I don't know why the fuck Far Cry did that. Because no one's gonna play through that. Look, Far Cry, while they are good, do I really want to sit there and play through that shit twice? That's you have to look at yourself like. Now Skyrim is not one of those. Skyrim is one of those games you can play through twice. Cause I'm on like my second playthrough of Skyrim. Cause I was doing it with Ashton. That's one of the games you
Yeah.
can do again. Even cause you can change your decisions in it. You know, Far Cry is not one of those games you can change decisions. So I think Skyrim definitely would have been better. Like it adds like that fantasy RPG element to it, like saying like no two people are gonna be alike sort of thing. Like you may have me who I like bows and shit, and then you may have you over here who likes axes and whatnot. Where all of our builds would be different, and that adds to variety.
I think if you do that, you eliminate the story progression of like detailed characters, of where it's like, oh, you can
Like NPCs.
yeah, you're gonna remove that aspect of it because you're gonna go, I don't fucking need you. I don't need the NPC. I'd rather have someone playing with me, and I don't give a shit about any character development anymore.
That's
Well, NPCs in pretty much every game except for the Outer Worlds. Because Outer Worlds, the AI was actually good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That like that's a case by case thing because honestly, when I play Skyrim through the 2000 player, I ain't bring nobody with me.
Well, yeah, because you don't need to. You're a fucking god. There's no real need.
Sometimes you need to.
But the thing is like
carry your shit. They're a mule.
But my thing is like with how Outer Worlds did it was obviously but my other games like that, like Mass Effect. That is a single player game. Do not fucking give me multiplayer. It's a 4-player person anyway. I don't need more than 4 people to go and do something. And if you're telling me I can fill those with actual bodies, then I don't need the 4 people. Why do I need why do I need to have a relationship with characters in the game when I'm not going to ever play with them? Like they benefit me never. And then there's like you got these guys coming with you. What do you choose to do? And it's like, I don't fucking care. Like, okay, we'll just do this thing, I guess. Like, because my friends are going to be with me the whole time, so there's no need for me to actually care for their opinions. But, like, I don't know. I think it just can... If you make them make a single-player game, make the single-player game. Give me Starfield Online later. Just go ahead and do that. If this game does successful, obviously we'll see Starfield Online, especially since ESO has come out and since Fallout 76 has come out, and both of which found their fan bases. And Starfield would probably get theirs as well very easily, considering that the 2 other ones have succeeded. Fallout 76 definitely had a very rough start, but eventually got to its the people that play it. So I just think that with Starfield, you keep it just single player. Let me explore the galaxy and find my crew. I think I'm also basing this off of Outer Worlds and Mass Effect, where they have done such a great job with really making me care about the side characters and to really want to go and find more information about people and to build relationships and to like fully do that. I mean, going based on that, there's definitely not this. I mean, there's a very light good and bad playthroughs of those games. You get good and bad endings in all of the series, right? So, but it's not necessarily like my character is evil, right?
Yeah.
So this would definitely be a...
Look, you just pretty foul shit at Skyrim. I don't want to say, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, you can blow up a town in Fallout 3, so, and that's in the very beginning. So, but the thing is like, there's nothing on the tier list. I mean, sure, you'll get like a little banter with another guy that you blew up the fucking city, blah blah blah, and then you find out that he's a scumbag and you kill him and then you get his shit. But there's no like, oh, now you're evil now because you blew up a fucking city. There's like, oh, you blew up a city. That's awfully shitty of you to do, but hey, you fucking did it. Like,
yeah, because it's all about make your own story sort of thing. And then the thing about those games and why I don't like crucially judge you for things like that is because they want your moral compass to be like aligned, right? So the game doesn't have to tell you you're a shit person, but I guarantee you every time you make a decision like that, you automatically think to yourself, "Oh, I'm an asshole for this."
Yeah, but I like games that make me like my character becomes who I am, kind of thing. Like that's
Oh,
kind
like
of
in
how
Fable,
I like
or if you're hella evil, you start growing horns.
it. Exactly.
And, like, kill your
Or
wife.
in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, or in Mass Effect, there's this good and bad side, and people start to look at you differently, or dialogue options change, because that to me makes it fun. Where like I had a totally different experience with Jimmy than Ashton had because he chose to go and attack this city, whereas I didn't choose to go attack this city, so I have different dialogue options. Because then there's conversation. There's a reason to talk. Otherwise, I mean, obviously, Skyrim is Skyrim, and it's been, put on everything in a potato. But, like, I just, huh?
It's on my TV.
There you go. It's in Alexa, so you can fucking play that thing anywhere. But the, I don't know. That's my 2 cents about it. I just wish that this game is good, especially after coming off of Cyberpunk. I need a fucking good sci-fi game. And I'm tired of shitty sci-fi games coming out. So
I feel bad for it
I
because like
still
nobody's
wanna
done
play
sci-fi like
Cyberpunk.
extremely well in a long time. Like Mass Effect did a really good job, but like apart from that, I mean,
yeah.
I
So
don't know of anything in recent memory that's actually been good.
I still really want to play Cyberpunk. I haven't because I'm pretty sure my original Xbox One was fucking fried if I ever tried to start that bitch up. I'm gonna have to wait till I get a Series X and then like play it.
They say it's up to like where it needed to be at launch, but I'm gonna wait even a little bit longer.
yeah, CD Projekt Red I think stated that they are happy with how the game is right now.
But they're planning
it's
on
still
updating
glitchy,
it more or
but,
no?
Yeah. Yeah, they had a whole roadmap set up for how they were gonna have multiplayer after sometime next year.
At this
Maybe
point,
I'll
it's
put
just
more
wait
great.
until the Xbox Series X and PS5 updates come out. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
when
but
I'm
I
waiting
think
to
I'll
jump
also
back
wait
in.
for multiplayer because I'd fuck with that with someone. I don't know. I'm a very not campaign. I'm a very co-op person. I fucks with co-op games like a lot more than I do with like single player games. Well, okay, no, there's some good single player games out there. Don't get me wrong, but like if you give me a chance to play with friends, I'm probably gonna play with friends 9 times out of 10.
Same.
And
It's
I'm
just
not
more
saying don't give me co-op games. I'm just saying put it where it needs to go. Don't force feed me that I need to go and do this. There's already the stipulation that I'm going to be not very happy with the fact that I'm going and discovering fucking planets. I'm not really into that, but because I'd like to go and visit like how Mass Effect is. It takes place like centuries into the future, and there's a citadel, and there's like all these other fucking like
I'm sure
aliens.
there'll be shit like that, but I mean, there's gonna be like.
But I mean, of the trailer,
you
it
don't
looked
want
like I
space
was
travel?
launching out for the first time on a desert planet.
But
So,
then you're
You don't
basically
want, like,
asking
space
for the
travel,
thing
though?
that I want, where you want pre-established places, but you also want to look at your own shit. Because even in Mass Effect, some of those planets you haven't really been to. Because I played Andromeda. Well, at least Andromeda. Like, there was a
well,
planet you
Andromeda,
hadn't
yeah. I mean, like the way I'm seeing it is like I don't want that to be 90% of the stuff I'm doing. Is like, hey, you need this lunar rock on this planet. Fuck off. We don't know about it. Go get it, and then you get attacked by things. It's like, I'd rather be like, oh, there's this, this citadel, or there's these towns on this other planet, and this thing like that. As much as I keep going back and trying to compare it, the only game you can compare this to is Obsidian's Outer Worlds. And so it's like, the way I liked it was how, sure, were there some faults to it? Yeah, that's what, it's not a, AAA game. It was their game that they wanted to make. But I think that they had the cities correct, where you go into these little, you go on a planet, yeah, it's fucking a disaster because there's these monsters that are just living there, and then there's a city with like walls built around it that can like tell a story. That I don't mind, but like don't have me going and discovering like half the time. That's what made Mass Effect 1 not super great and a little rough to play going back to it, especially if people played 2 and 3. So because you had to go on a lunar rover thing and try and get rocks and stuff, and some people like that, the resource things. I fucking didn't. So it's just weird to have like resource management in a game like that. But I don't know. It's a lot to be wanting, and we got until November to figure that out. But speaking of another game though, that is relatively coming soon, and I believe I'm trying to get the date before I fully say it. But it is Battlefield 2042 is also shown. October is what they're doing at. So October 22nd, 2021. Tyler, this was a game that you were looking forward to. Give us a little brief thing that you were very excited about, if you're there.
Oh shit! I had my mic flipped up. What the fuck? It's Battlefield. It's just chaos, you know. Like, am I excited for it as much as Nathan is? No. Is it a change of pace to take me away from some of the more competitive games I play? Yeah, because all I'm right now playing is Warzone. You know how that's going. Apex. Ashton knows how that's going. And I always sweat all the time. Right? If you sweat in Battlefield, you may need to just quit, like go find a job or some shit. So it's just that mindless. I get to blow up anything. Hey, you're camping in this building. I'm gonna fuck you up. Sort of thing. I think that would be like a good. I feel like we need that. I feel like everyone's too sweaty. Right?
Yeah.
Warzone's a terrible fucking place. There's cheaters everywhere. Apex is getting some cheaters too. I can't tell you why. Everything is just kind of dog shit a little bit. Like it's fun to play the games until like some bullshit happens. Like, all right, motherfucker, I don't want to be here no more. So Battlefield, I think, is the answer to let a lot of people chill out.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm looking forward to it.
going back to Battlefield 4, I played just about a month ago. It was, I mean, the game looks solid and it's fun. So, very excited to see where the chaos that this trailers that they have been releasing, that DICE has been showing us, have just been just insane. So, if they're gonna bring that level of insanity, can't wait.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anything, Ashton, about Battlefield, or you just kind
No,
of?
I mean, I've never been a huge Battlefield fan. I mean, the ones I liked were was 4 was the last
Mhm.
one I liked,
Mhm.
which apparently is a lot of other people too. So I'm excited. You know, it's going back to the modern era. I like the chaos. It's definitely a game that you just fucking have fun. You get a bunch of cool clips. It's like, it's not a sweaty game for me either. I mean, I do enjoy sniping in that game a lot because of like how much skill it takes to fucking actually get somebody with a sniper rifle with a bullet drop in that game. It's so satisfying when you kill somebody.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, speaking of very satisfying games, Forza Horizon 5 was also announced, and November 9th, 2021 release date for that. I love the Forza Horizon games. They're just mindless fun, and you can just race around wherever the location is, whether that be in wherever Marty is barking or wherever that is going to be in this one, like in the outback in Australia or in the UK. In this one, we are going to Mexico, and I don't know. The Playground Games has been top notch in making these Horizon games. And they're just fun. They're just fun, exciting things. It's kind of like watching Fast and the Furious. It's mindless fun. You don't necessarily need to do it. I'm hoping there's some DLC of Fast and the Furious that comes to Forza Horizon 5, like how they did for Horizon 2. But we might not get it. There's just a lot of cool cars in F9 that it would be pretty cool if they update and come out with DLC for. But I mean, Forza Horizon especially has not been shy to do some fun DLCs like adding Legos, Lego Island, and a couple other fun stuff like the Fast and the Furious DLC. So it'd be cool to see where we get a little south of the border down there in Mexico and getting some cool landscapes there. So, and where the story's gonna go. I hope that it seems like every step they go, every Horizon, we're getting a bit more to our character, that we actually get to like customize it, or now you're the host of Horizon, or now this, or now that. So it's going to be very interesting. But Ashton, you actually had this on your list, which was very interesting. So what is it about Forza Horizon that's bringing you closer to that?
Well, I'm not typically a racing game kind of guy. They are typically really boring for me. I will say though, like, Forza Horizon 5 is just super photorealistic. I'm excited to just play it, to see it. Kind of like how people are excited to play Flight Simulator. They just want to see how awesome it looks. But then I also got, I got to see they're putting other mini games and stuff in there, doing it to where it's a little bit more, I don't know, fun. You're not just driving around. I could do that in GTA.
Yeah, and
But
go ahead, keep going. Come back to that.
I've never. I think the last Forza game I played was like Forza Motorsport 4. So
Oof. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
it's been a hot minute. That was like the first Forza game where you could import like your own car wraps and people just put nudes over their car.
No.
Hell yeah! Wait, get me back there.
So I mean, I'm excited. Check it out, play it.
Yeah, going back to the custom maps thing, that really, really, really makes me happy because now that adds a little more to the game. What crazy, like, fun user created stuff? Are we gonna get something like user created stuff like something crazy like how GTA and Trials like produces, where that user created content is just like it could just go like you could completely create a different game. I remember playing Trials and I was playing Slender. That was what was crazy, but I don't think we're gonna get to that level. But it'd be cool to like see like custom maps and game modes and things like that, or maybe more of a Halo Forge sort of style of things, where maybe some game types get created through that. And that to me, I think is going to be enough to probably hold us a little bit until we get from Playground, obviously Fable. But until then, I think Fable's pretty far out. Tyler, anything with Forza Horizon 5?
Man, I haven't touched Forza games since I think I was on the fucking 360. I'm not gonna hold you. Racing games aren't my forte. I will admit this one does look really good. So I mean, it could be something to like consider playing. Maybe like I said, like how like Battlefield is that break from like the serious shooters I play. Maybe Forza is also what I need to like stop playing all this fucking sweaty shit I'm always on. So who knows what's gonna happen when it comes out.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the last game here. I'm gonna probably butcher this, but Euden Chronicle, which is the last game for Tyler here. What's standing out to that? We're getting 3 of these games. Chronicle Rising.
Yeah, I think.
Oh no, two. There's 2 games. Sorry, they just put it on this list twice.
Yeah, because I think one is because I can't recall the trailer in my head at all. I think one is like kind of like say like Final Fantasy VII in terms of combat, you can walk around and shit. But I think the second one they're releasing is
100
like
Heroes. Is what?
Yeah, I think
is a platformer.
I think the second one they're releasing is platform. Yeah, one of them seems a platform side scroller. That was like the secret one they were announcing. I was like, oh okay, like this is kind of cool. Me, like I really enjoy anime and anime-esque games, so I thought this would be a good one to add for me because I'm definitely gonna try to play it. And it just looked really clean. Character design. Who doesn't like a good main character anime design? And this game has a lot of that. You get the edgy boy, you get the oh please save me, all that shit. So I'm looking forward to playing that. I don't know about the side scroll. Like I said, if my memory serves me correct, it is a side scroll one coming out along with the mainline one. But yeah, I definitely will be checking those out. It was something to add to the many list of like anime-esque games that I am lacking in my life at the moment.
Yeah, Rising scheduled for 2022 and 100 Heroes scheduled for 2023. So,
okay, cool.
So yeah, I guess we'll move on to scoring. We'll briefly go through that. The way that this is all working out is that whatever we said, so we had to get the name right and we had to get the date right. And if the name and date were correct, you get 1 full point, and half for each half corrected thing. Ashton, your predictions for the Xbox and Bethesda showcase was Halo Infinite, coming out on November 12th, and that the story comes after the multiplayer release, and would come out would be 4. Yeah, story would come after, so multiplayer would be released early, which would be in September. Fable was going to get a 2023 announce date. Starfield was going to go April 2022. Elder Scrolls 6 coming summer 2023. They're going to talk about Avowed. Hellblade 2 coming out in October 19th, and then also Psychonauts 2 coming out December 7th, and then Everwild getting a September 24th. How did you feel with? Damn, he's biting me, you little shit. Okay, I'm gonna need to have you back down, but as I go and take care of him before I go, how did you feel about the fact of some of these didn't get announced? Like, what is your feelings about the ones that didn't get talked about? You a little sad
really
about it, or
bummed
you
about it.
like
Yeah.
bummed? Okay, go on. Go ahead and elaborate.
I wanted my two biggest things I was looking forward to besides Halo were Avowed and Fable. Like, I fucking cannot wait to see what they do with Avowed, because it's the game they always wanted to make. I love fantasy RPGs. They're a lot of fun. I like the medieval aspect. It's magic and fucking killing people and fucking being a badass. It's a lot of fun. And then Fable. Fable's like fucking goofy. Fantasy as well. It was a lot of fun. I played 2 and 3. They're just really funny games. I was hoping that Obsidian would take it, but I am going to be curious to see what Playground Games does with it.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see what they can do with something a little bit more out of their realm, you know, not just, you know, racing games. So you know, I was really curious to see what they did with it. I've been waiting for a new Fable game for a very long time, so guess we'll just see.
Yeah. So going based on your predictions, so Halo did show up at Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. Unfortunately, no date. So you only get half a point for that. No Fable, obviously. Starfield, you did get that correct. They did talk about Starfield, but you did not get the date correct, saying that it was coming out in April. Elder Scrolls 6 was not talked about. Avowed was not talked about. Hellblade 2 was not talked about. Psychonauts 2 was talked about, so you get a half point there. But the date was wrong, you saying December 7th, and in actuality, the date for Psychonauts 2 was announced for August 25th, 2021. And then Everwild was not talked about at all. So, final score for the Xbox and Bethesda, 1.5. Pretty solid start. For my predictions, I had Battlefield 6, which they did talk about. But the date was wrong. I said November 19th, and in actuality, Battlefield is coming out October 22nd. So, didn't get that one. I said November 19th. Crossfire X was not talked about. Halo Infinite, they did talk about, but I got there's no date for it, so technically, only half a point there. So, that's how that works out. Didn't talk about Fable. They did talk about Starfield. I didn't give myself credit for that, I don't think. No, I didn't. So I got half a point there. I get half a point for Halo. I get half a point for Fable. Or not Fable, for Starfield. So there's a... Ooh, this might change some stuff. Perfect Dark was not talked about. Hellblade was not talked about. And the a new coalition project, which are the people that create Gears of War. They did not announce anything. I said Perfect Dark was going to come out holiday of next year. Hellblade was going to come out this year in October, and Starfield was coming out in February of 2022, and Fable was going to get fall 2022. So, at the end of that, the scores have changed from what I have originally written, and we're tied, 1.5 to 1.5. So, that's how that turned out.
It's going neck and neck here.
Yeah. I will say a little disappointed that we didn't get to see any Hellblade stuff. At least tell me that it's coming like next year. But it seems like that might be a little bit farther out. And nothing on Perfect Dark. Nothing. But that might still be just a concept, and that's probably, we'll save that for next E3 sort of thing. Maybe even another E3. So, yeah, that's the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. Any final words?
No.
Cool. If you were to grade it on a grading scale, A, B, C, D kind of thing, what would you give Xbox and Bethesda?
B.
A B. That's a pretty good score. That's a pretty good
I'd give
grade.
it a B.
Good
B?
conference. They just need more time, I think,
Mm-hmm.
for two fucking umbrella companies merging together and showing off all their shit
Mm-hmm.
under one company.
Especially since, I think I would give it a B as well, just because
Yeah.
if you're only going to show me 2 games of Bethesda, then there's no need to actually tell me that Bethesda's going to be there. I just need to assume that they are. But yeah, I think a B is a fair grade. We're moving on. Adventures of Ronald McDonald. I don't know if you want to look this up, Ashton, so you got your viewpoint of this. But it was a mini-series. This is what Wikipedia classifies it as. A mini-series adventure fantasy comedy musical mystery science fiction show. Like, there's so many genres in this whole thing.